fun watch CodesEmpire.
Hello my friends, welcome back to CodesEmpire. I'm Jason, and I have a different truck here today. You've probably seen it in a few of our videos recently. This is my neighbor's, his little boy's Maxstone. So we have it here in the studio, kind of cool. Just want to show it off for a minute. And you're probably wondering why we have it here. So I kind of wanted to do something, kind of help him out a little bit, and do something a little fun for his boy, so that way he can have a little more fun with this. As far as, you know, I've done a little bit of homework and research on this, and I've seen, you know, several, you know, your ESC and your receiver, it's claimed to be waterproof. I'm not going to say it's 100% waterproof, but I'll definitely say it's water resistant. My biggest thing is this servo right here. So what I want to do for him, because I happen to have a Traxxas servo, picked this up off of Amazon. So this is the 2075, just for everybody who wants to know. This is a Axial servo saver. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to set that up and get this set up for him, so that way he'll have a waterproof servo. I actually run this on my son's Red Cat RS10, his truck dubbed Frankenstein, the one with the F-150 Raptor body on it. So he's been running one of these totally fine, hasn't had any problems with it. I'm quite impressed. Even with it being plastic gear inside, it seems to work out pretty good with these light trucks. So I think, you know, it'll work out real slick, and he'll enjoy that and be able to have the opportunity to take it in water and have a little more fun, especially when he goes out and has adventures with us. This is definitely a higher end as far as torque servo compared to this lower end one that comes stock on the Maxstone. So while we have it here, we're going to go through it a little bit. I'm going to pull apart the axles, check them out a little bit, see what kind of gears are in it, because I'm kind of curious. I actually want to also see how universal the C-hubs and knuckles actually are to an axial rig. I'm sure all of you guys want to know. I want to know, because, you know, I've thought about getting one of these myself, and I thought, shoot, if those parts are interchangeable, I've got a bunch of those. It'd be so slick to be able to throw some aluminum ones on here, because you can get the parts real easily. I know I've looked on their website, and I've noticed, I think it's ExceedRC's website, that's who sells the Maxstone. Anyways, I've noticed a lot of their parts are hard to come by, pretty tough. A lot of them are always sold out, it seems like, every time I'm looking. So anyways, so let's do some quick checks, and we'll go through some stuff and see what could be universal and what could work where else. And we'll also get this servo thrown on there for him so he can have some fun in some water. And while we're at it, when we're in there in those gears, we're going to go ahead and grease them up for him too real quick. So we'll check out everything and we'll go from there. So let's get inside and we'll see. Well, one of the first things I noticed as soon as I got these tires off, I quick double checked. these are 12 millimeter hubs. The thing is, they're plastic. So this is definitely an upgrade that you could use in an axial aluminum 12 millimeter hex hub there that you could install on that and be set up pretty sweet. And then that part you wouldn't have to worry about. So that's definitely really cool to see that that part is pretty universal. So we'll continue to tear into this and let's see what else we discover as we get into this rig. Okay guys, so check this out. This is really cool. So I tore the front of this axle apart just a bit. I've got my knuckle and C-hub off, okay, as you can see. Parts look very similar, okay. I looked at this. This is actually clocked just a bit, okay. It's not quite as much as the axial, okay. So here's the axial. I'll show you. Both these parts are, sorry about that. Both these are for the same side, okay? And sorry, I get that up there a little bit for you. If you look at them, the axial is clocked just a tad bit more than the Maxstone. But this is what's interesting, okay? Because you can see if you look in the axial C-hub there, you can see it's got a little channel on the top and bottom also, okay? That's in part because on the actual axle itself it has a little spot where it slides on where it's grooved, okay? But this does fit it. One problem. Basically, because it has where you're screwing into, it has these basic pegs literally poking out. They're just a tad bit too big. I sat here, I was fiddling around with it just a little bit. It's just a hair bit too big. You can't quite get it on there. I think if you were to get some axial parts and you were ready to do this and convert this over, you could shave those off. I mean, it's literally, we're talking a 1/16 of an inch on each side. I mean, just a real small amount. Maybe not even that. Maybe a 32nd. So a real small amount you'd shave off. Okay? And then this would slide right on there. Okay? But check this out. This is what's real interesting. Okay? So, Maxstone, axial. Okay? I'm going to hold these up. I'm going to try to get them as level as possible. Okay, now you can see the axial one is just a tad bit taller. Just a little bit. Okay? Other than that, everything else matches up almost perfect. So if you were going to switch it all over to axial, I think it would work out real slick. Okay? And I don't think you'd have any problems. But bearings, okay, these are your two bearings that come in your knuckle here. Okay, so I pulled them out. I'll show you. Okay, Maxstone's inner bearing, just on the inside of the, you can see right here on the inside of the knuckle. Axial's inner bearing. Okay. I checked these out. Guess what? They're exactly the same. Those are exactly the same. Okay? But here's the kicker. The outer bearing. You can see it right here in this picture. You can see basically the Maxstone is smaller than the axial. Okay? Here, let's see if I can. It's going to be hard to see, but you can see hopefully you can see it, but the axial one is bigger, but the inner diameter is the same. So I'll show you. Remember, axial, Maxstone. Okay, see, it does fit. So the inner diameter is the same. It's just the outer diameter, basically the part that goes out here, it's not the same. So this is the axial knuckle. See, look at that. There's the Maxstone bearing. So that part doesn't work. So it's somewhat interchangeable. Okay, that's cool. That's awesome, because that means you have potential. If you want to do these up in aluminum, you could, without having to spend a ton of money. Like if you went and got the, what is the RPM aluminum mounts, or aluminum C-hubs and knuckles and everything, you'd be set. This would be an awesome rig. As far as the lockouts, because this basically comes set up on the rear, and I'll show you here. On the rear, it's basically set up so you can install rear steering on it. Okay, so it has that lockout for it. So you've got the whole deal, and then you've got a lockout basically for it. So you've got basically front and rear C-hubs and knuckles. Okay, so that becomes a kicker. I didn't by chance, I don't have a spare pair of knuckles, or a spare lockout to see if that will work, because what that's going to involve is you would have to change out your dog bones inside and put in some probably bigger dog bones in there to make that all work out. So in all reality, I mean, you'd have to get 2 sets to run this possibly. I couldn't quite say, like I said, with that, because I don't know like how long the dog bones are in here, if they would be interchangeable with the axials. I don't happen to have any spare ones on hand to test that out. But if you're looking at least wanting to get, you know, 2 sets of aluminum C-hubs and knuckles for it, go for it. Like I said, all you got to do basically is trim these, and you should be able to slide it all together. You need to definitely get an extra set of bearings. It's a must-have. You got to do it. Otherwise, it's not going to work out. But yeah, with the, and I'll show you real quick here. See, there you go. So basically with the axial bearings and knuckle, okay, it all Maxstone, it all works out pretty slick. So I think let's just double check, put in our Maxstone pin, and like I said, if you want to look at getting some axial or any other manufacturer aluminum 12mm hex, go for it. But yeah, see, check that out. So that's running in an axial part right there. Yeah, buddy, that's pretty slick. Kind of has me excited. So there's potential. Now you know that you can put some axial parts on your Maxstone. Cool. I'm excited. So that definitely gives me something to look forward to as far as when I get ready to potentially get one of these, because I definitely want to test one of these out and go crazy with it. I want to really see how waterproof it really is. So that's what I'm going to end up doing when I do get one, and that way we can really push it to its limits. Other than that, I'm stoked as far as knowing you can put axial parts on it. So we'll finish getting this pulled apart and get it greased up. Check out what kind of gears we actually have in here real quick. Like I was saying too, I'm almost betting too you could probably put just about any kind of drive line on this. So as far as as long as you just get the right length one. Other than that, shoot, I bet the Axial one would work probably totally fine on it. The stock one that you get with any of your ready to run kits, or even your kits themselves, you know. So anyways, I'm gonna finish tearing into this, see what we got. So let's get into it. Well, guys, I am thoroughly impressed. I would have thought, being on the lower end as far as cost wise, that they would have probably gone with some plastic gears in this, but they didn't. So I'm quite impressed. You can see in there and there. Move that out of the way for a minute. We've got metal gears. So I'm thoroughly impressed. Kind of floored, actually. So that's definitely really neat. As far as these dog bones, let's see here. Yeah, see, I don't know how universal the Axial ones would be. Let me show you here. You can see, because I know I just recently put together my wife's Jeep Cherokee, and you can see how much longer this is. I don't know if that would be a real big factor, but one of the interesting things is you can see there's a C-clip on that bearing, and I think that, because otherwise you can't move it, and I'm thinking that's actually keeping that in place, because there's a ring on this side that doesn't allow it to pull out or anything like that. So yeah, and these look like the same small bearings that they're using throughout the whole entire vehicle. Yeah, so it's kind of like Axial. You know, you've got your standard bigger bearing, which this looks exactly, yeah, looks exactly like the one they've got in there in your gearbox here. So I mean, everything looks just like how you would see in an Axial rig in its axles. So that's kind of neat, but it is what it is. I mean, this is a Maxstone, but I mean, it's potential. I mean, so for anybody out there that's looking at wanting to seriously do some upgrades and going, crap, I'm getting on the website, I can't get parts because they don't have parts. Well, now you know you've got a second alternative, another option basically, and you could go with some actual Axial parts. So I do know one thing my buddy was telling me with his truck, with his son's truck here, and I noticed it. He had to loosen up his steering links here, because basically these links, these aluminum links, are just a little short, and so the rig came with them towed in. I had some extra spacers off of some of these parts trees, and so I figured on the one I threw one in right there so I could tighten it up and make it so it's nice and solid again, so it's not wiggling around like it was. So take care of that issue right there and fix that up for him. But overall, I am thoroughly impressed. I know I keep repeating myself and I can't help it, but that's pretty impressive actually. So there's a lot of potential for this, and I kind of can't wait to get my hands into one. I know I gotta, before I do that, I gotta, you know, minus finishing up this for my friend here and putting in that awesome waterproof servo for him. You know, I gotta get my wife's done. So, but other than that, this is really cool. This is gonna be real neat. A lot of potential. So I'm gonna enjoy this, and definitely having fun helping out a friend and especially a fellow RC addict. So this little boy is definitely getting into the hobby and enjoying it. So anyways, I'm going to get things greased up, throw it back together with the new servo and everything, and we'll give it a quick test out so you can see it working, and we'll call that a wrap basically. So give me a few and we'll get back to it. Cool. Okay guys, well, I've since removed the old stock servo. That's done, out of the way. Now we've got this rig pretty much completed. You can see the new Traxxas servo on there, which is real cool. Watch that. It's definitely faster because it is a digital servo. So that's going to be an awesome upgrade for him. He's going to love that. We did go ahead and we greased both axles. And like I said, I was amazed with how universal, with a few minor fixes basically, you can make axial parts work on these. I was going to mention one other quick thing. Everybody knows the axial steering links there. So that's your 6x106mm steering link. Guess what? It's a perfect match for this. This is what you need if you need to replace this up front here. So that means almost any steering link that's for an SCX10 axial basically will work on this Maxstone. So, and remember, this is the 10th scale, so that's really cool. It's got a lot of potential, so that's way neat in my opinion. So it's worth it. So he's gonna have some fun with this now, and he's gonna enjoy at least knowing that it's waterproof. He can definitely get water up over the servo and have some fun. He's got a nice reinforced servo horn on that, and won't have to worry about busting it up. So, you know, next to putting an aluminum one on there, there's no way you're gonna break that thing. So anyways, yeah, really impressive. So that's the Maxstone 10 for you guys. Definitely gonna get one of these myself. So, and my neighbor kid, he's gonna have fun with this thing. So that's that. Thanks again for watching with CodesEmpire. Make sure to hit that like and subscribe button if you aren't already subscribed. If you are, awesome. Thanks again. We really appreciate it. And we will talk to you guys later.